Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everybody across the globe. This is Duplex presenting to you the very first show of the Fact channel. Just so you know, Fact, which is FACT, stands for Fans of Arsenal Cast or Podcast, where we discuss about football, um, sports in general, but mainly football, focusing mainly on Arsenal and the Premier League. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and start, reviewing today's topic or previewing, today's topic. And I beg your pardon, today I'm using my diary because of the short notice I had to make the video, so I beg your pardon for that. So today, oh man, I have a pen also. I'm sorry. So so let me just review today's topic. First of all, we are going to talk about an incident which happened in Spain when Real Madrid were facing Getafe. Real Madrid won, I think, 4-0. Yeah, so there was a certain incident which we'll talk about, and also in the MLS where the great MESSI, also an incident happening. We'll talk about that. We're also going to give you the latest Arsenal injury update, and we're also going to do the player ratings for Arsenal players since the start of the season to today. So thank you, and let me start by going over to Spain. And there was a match between Real Madrid and Getafe, which was, I believe, 2 days ago. I meant to talk about this yesterday, but I was not able to because of things I can't comment on. Yeah, so Mason Greenwood and Jude Bellingham, both of them English players. Of course, one of them currently not playing for the international team. The other one a star of the team. That was like a rough challenge, and Bellingham said something to Greenwood, and apparently it wasn't something polite. So so apparently the Spanish FA is conducting an investigation in which Bellingham might be suspended for a few games if found culpable. And Mason Greenwood let out a statement in which he said, but I'm not quoting him, he said something of this sort. This is a paraphrasing of what he said. He said that he accepted that Jude said something to him, and he didn't particularly share what it was, although he very clearly heard it. And he said that he would, if it was up to him, he wouldn't like the Spanish FA to take any further action against Jude Bellingham, which is up to them at the end of the day, not up to Greenwood. But to my thinking, I'm guessing maybe Bellingham might have said something regarding Greenwood's past, criminal sort of, the ongoing, although it's not ongoing, but it's previous cases in the English courts, the British courts, in which he was alleged, to have something of rape and assault, something of that sort. I'm thinking that maybe he might have called Greenwood that's just my thinking. But anyway, we'll just wait and see. Moving over, we go many miles, many thousands of miles across the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, in which so there was this game between LA Galaxy and Inter Miami. Of course, many of you might know that the GOAT MESSI plays for Inter Miami, and so there was a spat inside the game in which Suarez and I think one of the LA Galaxy defenders, of which Messi came inside, came to kind of intervene as a captain would do in most cases, or in I think in every case, the captain has to come and intervene. So some fans posted online saying that, Messi was approached by the player who was, having an altercation with Suarez. That player, the same player, what was his name? Then I can't remember his name. A Spanish kind of name. That Messi apparently was approached to give his jersey, his much coveted jersey, to the player, but Messi declined. So it was perceived that Messi was arrogant and all that, but the player himself, very quickly upon seeing the rumors, came out to Messi's defense and said that there was no such thing. He said that there was no conversation between himself and Messi. So then shortly afterwards, another player, still of LA Galaxy, posted the jersey that Messi apparently refused to give to the other player. So this is just ridiculous, and it's Messi police being at their best. So with that said and done, we are going now to go to Arsenal, and we are going to start by talking about the team news. And so many of you fans might have noticed, or many of you, maybe even if you didn't notice, but Partey and Jurien Timber, oh my god, Jurien Timber, man, back in training. My goodness, if any of you saw Jurien Timber in preseason, oh my goodness, man, what a player, man. We're having him back in training. I don't expect him back very soon, probably in a couple of weeks at the earliest, maybe 3 weeks, but still he's gonna play a massive part towards the end of the season. And Partey, what can I say about Partey, man? I hope all his injury problems are done, because he's still gonna be key. Well, you could rotate Partey for Jorginho. Declan is not going anywhere. He can play as a 6 or as a 8, but with Partey now he's gonna have more freedom to go up and down the pitch as a 8, and it's only gonna be good news to have that option for rotation. So yep. So the others still out, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, still day by day. Then who else? Gabriel Jesus also, he might be in the squad. I think Arteta said that he might have been involved, but then they had to be extra cautious because of his, the injury problems he's had this season. But he also said that it wasn't a similar injury to the one that he had a procedure done on. That was very early in the season. So yeah, with that said and done, and also with Timber coming back, there's one thing I'm having an issue with, and it's Saliba. The minutes is accumulated so far this season. We've been lucky, maybe not lucky, because there are still cups competitions to be won, but we've been out of the Carabao very early. We've been out of the FA in the first round. So on the third round, I don't know what they call it. It's the first round, I guess. Yep. But Saliba is gonna need to be resting. So if you get Timber back, then you can have Timber either playing left back, or which will allow Kivio to play center back and relieve either Gabriel or Saliba. And I wouldn't want to see Timber and Kivio playing together, because they don't have any kind of chemistry. So I'm hoping that maybe Timber, Gabriel, that would be okay with me in the center. But yeah, but my main point is Saliba getting that much needed rest. You remember when the season started, Gabriel didn't play as much, and I'm being told that I have to go to the player ratings. Okay, so I'm using kind of a funny way, maybe not a very common way of grading players, of which I'm going to use a 5-point grade system, whereas the highest score is a 5 and the lowest score being a 0, of which no player got a 0, fortunately. So yeah, and we are going to have the point fives, like 0.25, 0.35 for certain players, Yeah, so there we go. So we are going to start with the aforementioned Jurien Timber, who's basically played only 45 minutes of football this season, not applicable. Same with Ethan Nwaneri, who's had 2 appearances, if I'm not wrong. Yep, 2 appearances. I remember he made a debut. I can't remember the team. As the youngest player, I think, ever in the Premier League to make a debut, or maybe for Arsenal, I don't remember. And then let me try to remember, was it Burnley or was it West Ham? I think it was West Ham. Yeah, it was West Ham, where we thrashed them. I think it was 6-0. Then he came on late. Yeah, it was West Ham. No, I'm sure. Yep. So not enough to have a grading, so not applicable. Then Partey, obviously, he's missed. He's only played like 15 minutes of the season, so also not applicable. But for the pre-assist he had, the Man City game, remember? Do you remember the Man City game where he played a ball over the top to break the line, over the top to Tomiyasu, who led it to Havertz, and Havertz played it perfectly for Martinelli to deflect it in goal by Nathan. Okay, so yeah, for that I was a bit tempted to give him a 5. Oh, sorry, a 2.5. A 5 would be out of 10, but definitely not a 5 out of 5. A 2.5, but he hasn't played any games, so it's still not applicable. Now we go to the scores, and Ramsdale comes in. Oh, I forgot to say, it's going to be in ascending order. So the name that I mentioned last is going to be the best player, and the name that I mentioned last is going to be the worst. No, not the worst Arsenal player, but the worst graded, not even rated, the worst graded player. So Ramsdale, he gets a 2.0. he hasn't played much football, hasn't had more than 5 appearances this season. So, and wherever he's been called upon, he hasn't been reassuring, either with his kicking or with his, he hasn't had, a bad season in terms of shot stopping, like, with hands, like a goalkeeper is supposed to do. But with his feet, he's been really horrible. So 2.0. Then Brice Nelson hasn't played really much. Whenever he's come on, hasn't been spectacular. I remember he had an assist against Brentford, but apart from that, just done what he's supposed to do whenever he come on, and hasn't played much. So it's 2.0. Then you go to ESR, Emil Smith Rowe. Hasn't played much as well. Definitely lots of potential there, but unlucky with injuries. Gets a 2.0. Then you go to Fabio Vieira. Started the season rocking. Remember against Fulham, an assist. And a few other games where he was having either an assist or a goal. I just scored this season. I'm not sure, but he was an impact sub along with Leandro Trossard at the beginning of the season, but then faded a little bit, and then got injured. He gets a 2.5, and so does Edin Ketia. He also gets a 2.5. And I have to say this about Nketiah: he's not prolific enough for me, and he's too selfish for someone who is not prolific. So for me, he has to go in the summer. He definitely has to go. We have to get someone better than Nketiah. Of course, you guys may have a different opinion, but mine is Arsenal deserve better quality. I know he's one of our own, came from the academy, but Arsenal deserve better. He gets 2.5. So Kivior gets a 3. I can't give him anything lower than a 3 out of 5 because Kivior has been. There was a game or two in which he's been a bit shaky, but obviously he's being played out of position at left back, and it was a bit shaky because he was being asked to do the sort of Zinchenko inverted role, which he just cannot do. I think Tomiyasu can do it better, but it appears that Kivior just cannot do it. So apart from that, the last 2 games you've seen him being better, with White now being asked to do the inverted role, which I don't think is doing it any better than, anyway, we'll come to Ben White later. So Kivior gets a 3.0 for the good games he's been having of late. Very solid, very solid. Then followed by Zinchenko, who for me gets a 3.0 because not his best season for sure, and a bit shaky, not the best defensively, and I think most teams try and target him down the left, the right hand side or the left wing back position, and try to play the ball over the top, of which I don't know why he lets balls go over his head, which is definitely not something that a defender is supposed to do. Anyway, he's not a natural left back, so you can understand that, but he's not been at his best, so he gets a 3.0. Then next is Gabriel Jesus, who gets a 3.5. He gets a 3.5, which, if you ask me, I think it's a bit on the higher side. But just for his work rate, his attitude, his never say attitude, oh, I'm repeating myself, but his work ethic, that's what I was looking for. He gets a 4 for that. He gets a 4. For his playmaking ability also, he gets a 4. But his goal scoring, he's also not prolific enough for me. And if you're able to get a striker in the summer, then I would play Jesus on the right hand side to give Saka a rest, or in a different game, play maybe Saka on the left. This is something that Jesus has played previously, and Guardiola is playing on the right hand side of the attack, so it's something you can do. But for me, in the center of the pitch, I need someone who's going to be 2 chances, 1 goal. Yep. So for his goal scoring, he gets 3.0, which comes to a 3.5. So Tomiyasu for me, easily, apart from Julian Timber, who I saw much of in pre-season, so I know what I'm saying. He's easily the best fullback we have in the team, and he's the only, I guess, natural fullback in the team. Very versatile. He's played in centre back position. He's played at right back, played at centre back, right centre back, left centre back. I mean, he could even play goalkeeper. Who knows? So Tomiyasu, rock solid. The only problem with Tomiyasu is injuries. Actually, I'd given him a 4.0. I was kind of, has he been better than Jorginho? Has he been better than Trossard? So, yeah, I give him a 0.5. And so does David Raya. Came with a lot of expectation, Ramsdale, fan favorite. So he had a lot to do to prove that he deserved to be in the starting 11. Arteta bizarrely was saying that he sort of wants to have 2 goalkeepers to rotate, and David Raya has played every single Premier League game ever since. so much for rotation, so came in with a bit of pressure. His kicking left a lot to be desired at the beginning, but with time it's sort of settled in, and nobody can argue right now that his kicking is way beyond Ramsdale's. But in terms of shot stopping, which is a goalkeeper's number 1 job, okay, claiming crosses better than Ramsdale, but shot stopping in terms of making saves, Ramsdale miles ahead in my opinion. But Ramsdale, Raya is sort of more calm. He's kept more clean sheets, definitely. I don't know what else to say. Oh my goodness, man. It's late at night, so I beg your pardon. I should have I've had a cup of coffee. But yeah, Ramsdale, Raya, what was I saying now? Jesus Christ. I was talking about his shot stopping. Yeah, it sort of calms the defense, and so he's had more clean sheets than Ramsdale. So I believe that overall is better than Ramsdale, so deservedly keeps his place. But I hope I'm going to see his shot-stopping prowess that we saw at Brentford the previous season. So without further ado, we go to Mr. Zaminamina Havertz. Someone who really divides opinion, but of late, not as much. Had a horrible first maybe 10 games of the season, but he's been better in the last 5 or so games. So for me, he's a confidence player, someone who relies very much on confidence, and Arsenal fans are going to need to keep on supporting him. Although I still believe 66 million is way too much for Havertz, so he gets a 3.5. Ben White gets a 3.5. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of his defending. I think sometimes his defending is overrated. Yeah, so I would rather have Tomiyasu play right back, but Tomiyasu has proven time and again he's not gonna be fit, and Ben White, the only thing keeping him, I guess, there is his fitness. But the Champions League final, man, I would have Tomiyasu there, Julian Timber on the other side. But I know it's going to cause a stir, but that's just my opinion. Ben White is a kind of defender I don't like. This is him on the right hand side of defense, and this is a striker. So when he's being attacked, man is gonna go all the way to the touchline, man. Attack the defender, man. Go for the ball. So you're gonna see when you play against Man United, I already know Rashford is gonna cut in and score, and the same with Son. Anybody playing on the right hand side, just gonna cut in and do whatever the heck he wants. So yeah, but going forward is decent, and his distribution is decent. Defending, that's just my opinion. Please do not kill me. I know a lot of fans love Ben White, but for me, his defending is just not at the level that, for me, an Arsenal defender, a right back, should be at. So we go to Martinelli. He's not been at the levels he was at last season, but still working his socks off, still chasing every ball, still running at every defender. He's assisting more, which is great to see, but I'm sure he's not the most wasteful. He's not like he's wasting a lot of chances, but it's just not happening for him. But still decent. So he gets 3.5. Then we're gonna go to Mr. Well, recently he's been called world class by Arteta, who also was a deep line playmaker like himself. So Mr. Pass Master himself, Jorginho. So the marks are going to be high from this point on. Jorginho gets nothing short of a 4.0. Man, this guy's just been a joy to watch of late. End of the previous season and a couple of games this season, he's not been at his best, just for 2 games. The rest of the times that Jorginho has played, he has been nothing short of, yes, I'll say it, world class, man. This guy is just spraying passes wherever it feels like, just doing whatever it feels like. And Jorginho, man of the match performance against Liverpool, man of the match performance against Newcastle. I hope he's going to stay fit for the rest of the season, because we're going to need him in the latter stages of the Champions League if we, when we make it against Porto. So we're gonna need his experience and composure in that middle of the pick. And yes, Mr. Fan Favorite, Leandro Trossard, Leo 4.0. What more can I say? An absolute fan favorite. Left foot, right foot, bang it. 4.0. Nothing more I can say for it. Mr. Game Changer. There you go. Martin Odegaard, just like Martinelli, has not had his best season yet. In terms of, numbers, but I still believe he's been leading from the front, pressing. Man, this guy presses like a dog, man. He just keeps going. He never gets tired, man. I would like to know what Odegaard, if you're watching, please let me know what you're using, because I need that sort of energy. Man, 4.0, true captain, leading by example. Gabriel Magalhaes, who happens to be the last Gabriel for this, on the ratings. Gabriel Magalhaes, a very underrated player, a player who is very good with the ball. Have you guys seen his distribution? Nobody talks about this, man. Oh man, Gabriel Magalhaes, man. Lord. Just please, people, go and watch Gabriel Magalhaes distribute, man. Remember the goal against Liverpool? That was Gabriel Magalhaes with the ball over the top to Martinelli. Remember that? That is just one of many. His passing is underrated. This guy, very good. It's only that Saliba is sort of what they call him, Rolls Royce. Yeah, but for me, he's just as good as Saliba. The only problem is maybe a few rush challenges, but apart from that, and it looks like he's gotten that out of his game right now, because maybe a couple of seasons ago he might have had maybe a couple more penalties than he's had this season. That's had a penalty this season. No, oh my god, I should have kept quiet, man. I don't want to jinx it. So yeah, Magalhaes 4.0, and now we go to the top 3. At number 3, William Masterclass Saliba. I mean, nothing more I can say about him. 4.0, majestic, calm, plays the ball well, doesn't get phased, by anybody, doesn't respect anybody, just goes about his business, just makes football look like eating, man. Yeah, 4.0, number 3 in my player ratings. Number 2, now this is going to cause some debate, I know, but if I was doing these ratings, say maybe in December, it might have been number 1. It definitely would have been number 1. But just up there with Saka is Declan Rice at number 2, with a 4.5. Man, what a signing! What a signing! 100 million. Man, West Ham, it should have been 200, man, because nobody talks about the price tag anymore. He's just exceptional, consistent, reliable, always fit, leadership, last minute goals against, Manchester United, last minute headers against Luton. I mean, oh, what an inspiration. He needs to be the vice captain, or even the captain. I'll give him the captain. He's that good, man. He's that good. He's consistent, and yeah, man. If this was December or November, it would be Declan Rice, my player of the season for Arsenal. But we have to respect the month and a half that Bukayo Saka has had in the Premier League. Man, the highest scoring player in the Premier League since January. I mean, what more can I say, man? And despite the fact that he was having an off season, if I can call it, Saka, he still was doing the numbers, goals and assists. He still was in December or November the highest goal scorer for Arsenal. Right now in July is January sort of exploded, man. For me, the Arsenal player of the season has to be Bukayo Saka. I get it, with new players, bringing new stuff, like Declan Rice. It might be easy to give him the player of the season so far. He still has a chance of surpassing Saka, but the way Saka is playing, if he keeps on playing like that, man, player of the season, man. So yeah, Bukayo Saka, star boy, what a player, what a person. He gets 4.5. Yep, nothing more to say about that. So yep, let me see if there's anything else I've left. I'm sorry for using the diary. Just let me know in the comment section if you think I should drop it. I'm planning to drop it, but I sort of, rushed to doing this video. I wasn't prepared to do it, so fully prepared to do it, I have to say. So yeah, thank you for watching, and please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Just to give you a little preview about tomorrow's, or maybe the next day after tomorrow's podcast, because I'm planning to keep on doing this. So first of all, we are going to do Sheffield versus Arsenal preview. We're going to review that game, which is on Monday. Monday. Oh man, too far. Why not Sunday? Anyway, we're going to do EPL predictions for that weekend, and also we're going to be discussing other issues concerning Arsenal, which I don't leak for now. So yeah, stay tuned. I hope the podcast was decent, and I hope to share more with you guys. And remember, if you have a different opinion, it's okay, you can comment. Please guys, remember to argue respectfully, be respectful of each other. And guys, I'll see you next time. So please don't remember again to like, comment, share and subscribe. So until next time, ciao. Thank you.